Welcome to the Michael Zehr Show. Today's date is January 7th, 2022. We're in a new year. Happy New Year, everybody. I forgot to let Ted know when we're doing our interviews, we like to engage and look at the camera here.
Okay.
When we get our audience, so we can let them know that we're kind of looking at them and watching them. Today, our special guest veteran is Ted Manolis. And hopefully I didn't screw your name up because I just...
No, that was perfect.
So, Ted, again, thank you so much for joining us here.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
At the Warrior Healing Center. And we're going to get started with the new year by starting off with the first question here, which is, what inspired you to join the armed forces?
Well, I was an Army brat. And so I had a lot of influence from my dad and growing up as an Army brat.
Okay.
He was an Army helicopter pilot in the Signal Corps, and so I wanted to be a pilot, and so I kind of followed in his footsteps.
Really? What was your dad retiree? Like, did he stay in?
He stayed in full
20?
Full 20. He retired.
Wow.
Retired here at Fort Huachuca.
What kind of different duty stations did you get to go to?
Oh gosh, when we were growing up, let's see, I was born near Fort Rucker, Alabama, while he was going through flight school. And then we moved to Fort Polk, Louisiana. We were in Fort Walters, Texas, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Wow.
My dad went to Vietnam. We went up to Pennsylvania for a year. Came
back.
So
you were in Pennsylvania when he's deployed in Vietnam?
For his first time, yeah.
Okay.
That's where they were from.
Okay.
And then he came back from Vietnam. We came to Fort Huachuca. So I was a kid here from 1967 to 1971.
Wow, you've seen a lot of changes here then, haven't you?
I sure have.
Wow.
From there, we went to Athens, Greece.
Greece?
Wow. My father was a fluent Greek, so Greek speaker. His parents were Greek, so I'm half Greek. And he had given a tour many years ago to a bunch of Greek generals.
Okay.
Toured with them in the United States so he could translate with them. And when he was done with that tour, they said, you ought to come over here and take one of the American assignments. And so he did. So we went to Greece for 3 years, and I graduated high school over in Athens, Greece. And then they moved back here to Fort Huachuca for about another year, and then my dad retired. And so he was here, and that's about the time I started getting into the Air Force.
Okay. So that was going to be my next question. Which branch did you serve in?
I served in the Air Force.
So, because, there's a lot of teasing in between branches and stuff like that. So with your dad being Army, was he a little disappointed that you chose the Air Force route? Or?
I don't think disappointed was a word. We got along okay.
Okay.
Talk about the Army and the Air Force football games and things like that. So, he was. I think he was pretty happy with that.
I think he was pretty proud of you myself that you chose to wear the uniform.
Yes.
As most parents are of their veteran children. So what was your rank and what was your MOS that you were doing while you were in?
Well, I wound up, actually, I guess, I've graduated in Greece. I went to college, wound up graduating from Arizona State.
Oh, ASU, you're a Sun Devil,
I'm a Sun Devil. I know I'm down here in Wildcat country, but, hey, go Devils. So... So went into the Air Force. Started out in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah,
as lieutenant, and
so you were an officer then,
right?
Oh, okay.
So went to San Antonio. I was working there in the Electronic Warfare Center. I did everything I could to try to get into pilot training.
Okay.
And so after 2 years there, I did get into pilot training, and went to Vance Air Force Base, which is in Oklahoma, and. From there, I got assigned to fly it was called a T-39. It was a little executive jet, carried about 7 passengers.
Okay.
And I got stationed in Colorado Springs. Awesome place to be stationed. And we were hauling around generals and congressmen, throughout the country.
Did you go to OCS there in Colorado? Because isn't that where the Air Force?
Actually, I went through OCS it was in San Antonio, Texas at the time.
It was San Antonio. Well, because you said San Antonio, but. Because I always wondered, because I know basic training, but then I didn't know if officers did a different type of basic training.
It's a 9-week, officer candidate school.
Okay.
And or you can go through the Air Force Academy, which is the one in Colorado Springs, and that's a 4-year college.
All right.
And so
that's what I was asking. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So we were in Colorado Springs flying the T-39s, and then they retired those and they upgraded those to the Lear 35, which is a Learjet. And again, flying people around the country.
Right.
After 4 years there, I went to Elmendorf Air Force Base in Alaska, flying C-130s. And
Okay.
so flying those all around, supplying Alaskan radar sites, and also we supported the Army at Fort Richardson. We'd go out there and help them do their airdrops and things like that.
Okay.
So throwing stuff out the back of my plane. you know. From there, I went to Georgia. Robins Air Force Base is near Warner Robins, Georgia, and that's where
Okay.
they do the heavy maintenance on the C-130s. So they bring the airplanes in, they take them apart, put them back together, and then I would go out and test fly 'em.
Oh, wow.
From there, I went down to Eglin Air Force Base on the coast of Panhandle, Florida, and I was an inspector. So I would go out into different bases and inspect other C-130 units. So I was still flying the C-130, but as an inspector. And then in '96, moved back to Alaska again.
And what was your rank at that
By that time, I went up as a major and got promoted and wound up retiring there as lieutenant colonel.
Oh, wow.
And flying, my last 4.5 years was up in Alaska.
What was your favorite duty station?
It was Alaska.
It was Alaska.
Yeah, people go up there, they either love it or hate it.
Did you do any hunting or fishing while you were there?
Oh yeah.
Did you?
And yeah, we wound up hunting. I've got caribou, moose, bear.
Oh my goodness.
Salmon, halibut. We wound up, once I retired from the Air Force in 2001, I stayed up there and worked for Alaska Airlines. I was a pilot for Alaska Airlines for 16 years.
Oh my.
So
you had a deep connection to Alaska then.
Right, and now my wife and I, we go back there for 3 months every summer because all our kids and grandkids are in Alaska.
Right. Yeah, you were telling me that off camera there.
Yeah.
All your what was your favorite thing to do while off duty? I'm going to guess it was hunting and fishing.
Well,
I could be wrong.
Fishing was pretty good. Yeah,
Fishing?
fishing you could do that pretty much all summer.
Did you do like ice fishing or did you go off boats or how did that work?
Generally, fishing for salmon was in the rivers, and
Okay.
we'd go either stand on the side, find a nice place to go there that it wasn't too crowded, or you get a little boat and go up to a river, and then halibut was usually from a deep sea a charter. And
I mean, I do some fishing, but not that kind. So that's why I wanted to know.
Well, I'll show you some pictures later. So.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. How did you end up getting back here to Cochise County then?
Well, after all that time living up there, we've spent 24 years in Alaska.
Wow, that's a long time.
And it's, winters are a little cold and a little dark and a lot dark. And so my wife said, hey, it's too cold and too dark. You're retiring. We need to go someplace else.
And here we are, in the 20s and 30s right now, and we think that's cold.
We think that's
Imagine
cold,
what Alaska is.
We were up in Alaska for Christmas, and it was between 0 and about 20 most of the time we were up there.
Oh, wow.
And that was a warm spell. So having been married, we're coming up on 40 years of marriage, and my parents living here, my wife has visited here many times.
Okay.
And so along the way, she said, oh, yeah, I could live down there. And so in about 2013, we actually bought a house down here, and we started snowbirding. So she would come down here and live here during the winter while I would shuttle back and forth to Anchorage to go up and fly my routes. And then, when I had time off, I'd come back down here.
And what did your wife do
She was
while
also
you were in the military?
She was also a lieutenant colonel, military officer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we married, back in 1982.
Okay.
And she was in communications.
All right.
And so she did active duty for about 13 years, and then she did reserves in Georgia and Hawaii.
Do you want to give her a shout out? I'm sure she might be watching later.
Hi, Ava.
Hey,
Yeah, Ava Manolis, yeah.
And
Love you. 40 years now. This is our 40th year anniversary. So.
How did you guys end up meeting?
We met at my first duty station in San Antonio.
Okay.
We worked at the same building, and it's kind of a funny story, but the very first day I had to show up, it was a top secret entry place, and I didn't have a clearance, so I had to have somebody escort me up. And so I'm standing in the office waiting for somebody to get me up to the third floor of this building, and here comes this lieutenant, and the sergeant there says, "Hey, Lieutenant, he's going up to the Warfare Center. Can you take him up there?" It's like, "Sure." And so that was my wife at the time.
That's how you met.
That's how we met. And then, during that 2 years that I was stationed there, we wound up playing on the volleyball team, and we just connected there, and so I guess that's another hobby we have. We used to have volleyball. Volleyball. So, and we like sports. We like to go watch baseball games and college football games and things like that. So,
who's your favorite baseball team? I'm just curious.
Atlanta Braves, man.
Oh.
And yeah, go Braves this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of hooked up with them when we were stationed in Georgia, Warner Robins, Georgia.
That's a big Little League town,
Oh yeah.
Warner Robins.
Oh yeah.
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 They would have a team almost every year in the Little League World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Warner Robins, right?
That's it.
Yeah. So I'm a Cubs fan myself, so I at least got to see them win the World
There
Series
you go.
once
At least
during my
once.
lifetime. So I'm happy with that. When you're here at Cochise County, and what year did you say you came back in?
We came back in 2013, and then I retired from the airline in 2017, so moved back down permanently.
So between 1960 and 2017, you've seen a lot of growth in this area, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. The town kind of stopped at about Coronado Avenue,
right?
back when, from the post down to Coronado. The only thing that was really beyond was Sierra Vista Junior High, which is now the Rothery Center.
Right.
And then also Buena High School was down there, down there on the corner where the Tesoro is and the car dealers are. That was Buena High School area.
And they used to have to, take a dirt road or something, right, to get there? Wasn't it that?
No,
that
it wasn't. It was still paved. So.
Oh, they had it paved at that.
Yeah.
Because there were times when I talked to other veterans that were here in the early 60s or had gone to Buena that had said that the dirt used to, what did they say? Like the pavement would go to 7th Street and then it used to be dirt, and then Buffalo Soldier used to be dirt at one time. So there has been a lot of changes, though, in our community, for sure.
Yeah. They used to have a Little Britches Rodeo arena back there.
I remember
behind
that.
The high school, And,
I remember that. That was a big thing, too, that they had.
Oh, yeah.
So other than baseball, you said, and volleyball, what are some of the other sports that you are a big fan of?
Well, football, college football. I like ASU, and I like the Air Force Academy.
What about NFL? Do you watch
NFL? I like the Broncos, and they failed again this year. So.
Yeah, well, the Bears. What can I say? Football, right? My biggest thing with football, though, I really kind of quit watching when the whole taking a knee thing happened, and I get the message, and I agree with the message of social change, and I totally get the message. I just didn't like the way the message was being broadcast.
Right.
I thought it could have been done in a more respectful way.
Sure.
And being that we're veterans, we honor our country, we honor our flag, we honor the Pledge of Allegiance, or not Pledge of Allegiance, the national anthem. And that's kind of what soured me on football for a little bit. But I'm starting to get back into it now because I don't know about you, Ted, but I noticed that a lot of it was politicized. It became so political.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing in our country that's hurting us right now. It's this political divide.
No, nobody can speak to each other and have a differing opinion, and let that just stand. So, okay, hey, I don't agree with you. That's okay. We're all allowed our own opinions.
Yep. And I may not agree with somebody, but I will respect their right to have that opinion.
That's right.
That's what makes our country so great. So do you have any kind of community activities or volunteering or anything like that you'd like to share with us?
Sure. Well, I guess one of the reasons I hang around this building a lot is my little name tag here. And it says
Tax Aid.
That says AARP Tax Aid. And so I am the local coordinator for Sierra Vista for AARP Tax Aid. And I also work with VITA, which is the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. We kind of have a shared office here. And we provide tax assistance, tax filing for free.
Okay.
And so about 3 years ago, this will be our third season here at the Warrior Healing Center, where we set up, and it'll be starting the 1st of February till the 18th of May this year. Okay. And people can come in, make an appointment, and have their taxes done for free.
So they do have to have an appointment then, correct? They can't just show up?
Yes, they do. When we first started here, it was just show up, and you sat in a room, and you waited your turn, and it was first come, first serve. And some people sat here for hours. and then COVID hit.
Oh,
And
yes.
so because of COVID, they said, okay, we don't want rooms full of people hanging around anymore.
Right.
So we've gone to an appointment system. And so, and people actually like that better because they know they can come in, have their taxes done, probably be out in less than 2 hours.
And for those veterans that are watching this and their dependents and stuff like that, also you don't have to be a veteran to come
No.
in.
This is for the entire community.
Okay.
You know, we are very grateful that the Warrior Healing Center
Right.
opened this up to us. We used to be in the community center, and then they were going to repurpose some of the rooms we were using, so they asked us to leave.
Okay.
So we had to find a new home. And Tim Kirk here volunteered to center, and they have just been fantastic, setting up rooms for us, letting us actually keep our stuff in the rooms and lock them up. At the other places, we always had to tear down everything at the end of the day or
Right.
break it out at the beginning of the day. And so they've just been fantastic to work with, and we're glad to be here.
Well, Tim and Kathy and Beth and Dan, they're all good people, and they're very modest because every week when I talk about them, Kathy says, "You don't have to focus on us, focus." And I'm like, I get that, Kathy, but daggone it, the services that you provide for our community, for these veteran resources, it's an act of love, you know, and it's just amazing what they do, and you can't not want to thank them enough because they just do so much. Going back to getting your taxes done, so you don't have to be a veteran, but what number do they call, or how do they go about making an appointment to come in and have their taxes done?
Okay, so here you go. Got your pencils ready.
We'll also put the number,
You'll put the
hopefully,
number?
in the comments.
Start. We're gonna have appointments starting on the 24th of January is when you can call and start making appointments.
Okay.
And the phone number is 520-255-8830. And
255-8830.
there's also going to be a website that you can go to and make it on your own. So if you are computer literate, or you've got a phone with a data plan or something, and you can actually get on the internet, it's calendly.com. I'll spell that. Sierra Vista Taxes. So that's CALENDLY.com/Sierra-Vista-Taxes.
Boy, that's a mouthful, huh?
Yeah, I couldn't make it any smaller. But
And what information should people bring in when they come in to see you?
all their tax stuff. No.
All their tax
let me
stuff.
give you a little rundown.
Yeah, please.
What helps us is a copy of last year's return. That helps us refer to it and see maybe what you might be missing if you bring your other stuff.
Okay.
Make sure you bring in your Social Security forms. They should be arriving this week if you've got it. My wife and I got ours yesterday.
Okay.
Any government issued W-2s with your entire Social Security number on it. And also any 1099-Rs, which are retirements. So if you're a military retiree, you're getting a 1099-R, or if you are from government service, you're going to get an OPM 1099-R. We need to have you bring all that in.
Okay.
Also, any brokerage statements you have, usually those don't come out till about mid-February. Or
What's
late
a brokerage statement?
That's if you have investments someplace with Fidelity or Vanguard, they'll send you out a statement. And also things we need to know. Last year we had that stimulus. In March, the government gave everybody $1,400. We need to know if you got that $1,400.
You have to claim it on your taxes.
Well, you don't claim it as income, but if you didn't get it, they'll give it to you as a refund.
Oh, that's interesting.
Also, if you've got kids, they expanded the child tax credit this year. And so if you got a kid, it used to be $2,000 for every kid.
Right.
But if you've got one that's under 5 or 5 and under, you can get $3,600. And if you got one that's over 5 up till 17, it's $3,000. And they've been giving people advanced tax credit. So they've been paying people since July if you've had kids. And so you need to come in with a letter the IRS is going to send you that says how much you've gotten so far.
Okay.
And so those are the big things.
How does that child tax credit work, though? You're saying that they're actually receiving money?
Yes, anybody that had kids had the opportunity to start receiving a monthly payment. If your child was, like I said, over over 6, they would get $250 a month.
Okay.
If they were less than 6, they were getting $300 a month.
Okay.
And so they've given part of that tax credit away already, about half of it. And so we need to know how much
I
that
see.
they've gotten so far so we can make sure they get the rest as part of their tax return.
Because I would always read about articles and stuff, and they would be talking about receiving
Mhm.
that, but I didn't actually know how that works. So
Yeah.
thank you for explaining
It
that.
just kind of automatically started.
Okay.
And so also, if you got any child care, you're paying somebody to take care of your kid while you're working,
Yes.
bring that in. They've expanded that. You can claim more money than you have been able to do in the past. And let's see, that's the big stuff.
That's the big stuff.
If you're self-employed, you want to have a list of all your expenses and all your income.
Well, that was going to be my next question as far as the taxes went, is if we have a veteran that has a veteran-owned business,
Sure.
would you be willing to do their taxes as well?
Sure, as long as it's a self-proprietorship, basically as long as they don't have other employees.
Okay.
If they do it all on their own and they usually include it in their tax return, we can do that.
Okay. So if they're a business that, let's say, like has 10 employees
Right.
and they're playing, then you can't do
Yeah,
that.
somebody else has got to do that.
Okay. What's the reasoning behind that? I'm just
There's a little bit more
work involved?
Yeah, a little bit more work on our part, and we
I
just don't
got
train people to do it.
Because one thing that Ted had told me off camera, and I was fascinated by this, is the reason it's free is because they're volunteering their time. They're not getting paid to do any of this work. And you shared with me that you love numbers.
Yeah,
and that's why you do it.
We've got about 23 or 24 volunteers that work anywhere from 1 day to 3 days a week. And we're all numbers nerds. And
Yeah.
so a lot of us have been doing this for a long time. We like, believe it or not, we like taxes. We like to prepare them. And we tried to do our best to get you the maximum refund.
And most people that I know love to get that maximum
Oh,
refund.
exactly.
They love to get that. So, along with other activities, do you have?
I guess sticking on the numbers side, I teach a financial course called Financial Peace University. It's a course a guy named Dave Ramsey.
I've heard for Dave Ramsey.
Okay, so I teach that class. I've taught it here at the center, and I also teach it at Calvary Chapel.
Okay.
And lately, I've been inviting the people from here to all sign up for the one at Calvary Chapel, so I don't have to teach
Okay.
it twice a week. But
And how did they get information on that?
they
from you?
they can come here to the Warrior Healing Center and ask. We have some flyers here. You can go to
Okay.
Calvary Chapel. They have flyers as well, and the class is actually starting on the 16th, which is a Sunday, 16th
Okay.
of January. It's a 9-week class. And goes 9 weeks from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Sunday evenings for 9
Every
weeks.
Sunday evening?
Right.
Okay. So if anybody out there is interested and wants to join that program, Calvary Chapel, or come right here to the Warrior Healing Center, and they'll get you signed up for it. So what
And,
kind
and
of...
I guess the other thing is, along with that, I do a little financial counseling. So we've had people referred to me here from the center that if they're having trouble, managing their budgets, then I can help them.
Well, that's something I need.
Okay, I'll sign you up for an appointment.
I got to tell you, I'm not too good. My wife's always on me about the way we do like our check register, don't balance checkbook. You get into these patterns, and they're bad patterns, right? So,
And we try to change them into good patterns.
Yes.
So.
what kind of advice do you have, or what advice would you like to give to those veterans that are watching right now that have been recently separated from the military?
Okay, now I'm stumped. It's been so long since I've been recently separated from the military. The things you want to do is, if you're staying in your community, it's great because you still have a bunch of friends around and things like that.
Right.
You're kind of moving your friendship from the military because you're not going to be hanging out with them anymore. Maybe you have to have some other friends outside. For us, it was our church, and we hung out with the church a lot, and we did a lot of things with our church. Now, when we moved down here, we got out of the military or got out of the airline and moved down here. And it was kind of the same thing. You have to find a group of people that you can hang out with, that can help you, that can talk to you, that you can be friends with. so that you're not just isolated. Because when you're isolated, you start getting the feelings of, oh, woe is me. What am I doing? And it's good to have a lot of people around you. That's the best thing you can do. Also, as you're getting ready to get out, try to have a path where you're going afterwards. People are retiring or getting out of the military and they're young.
Oh, very young.
And you got to have a place to go. Have a job lined up. Sign up for anything. Get a job while you're waiting for a job. And right now, it's pretty easy to get a job from what I understand. There's a lot of people hiring. It may not be exactly what you want to do, but maybe take a job while you're trying to find out what you want to do.
What is the most important lesson that you learned from your time in the military?
For me, it was, I think, integrity and consistency. Always tell the truth in whatever's happening, whatever situation, even if you mess up. And then, and always be consistent. Treat everybody the same, no matter what. But those are the two biggies.
I really agreed with what Pastor Donna said a few weeks ago when I was interviewing her, when I had asked her that question about, giving advice to military and stuff like that. And she said, it's like, find your tribe.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of the way that she put it was like, wow, that was kind of deep, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. She said it better than I did. So.
Well, but I think that in the military, and I don't know because I wasn't in the Air Force, but I'm sure that all branches are the same when it comes to the camaraderie, the closeness that you have within your unit and your friends and stuff like that. And then when you're leaving that, like when I got out, I was only allowed to serve 3 years, so I got out with an honorable discharge. And I was like, I had no idea what to do. And at least now here at the Warrior Healing Center, when these veterans, these men and women are getting out of the military, they can come here and they can find these resources to kind of establish themselves, here in the community if they want to stay here. And I think even those that would leave the community, I bet you they would still help them find their path. So What do you like most about Sierra Vista and Cochise County?
I love that everything is so close. and I love the mountains. I try to go hiking when I can. I've kind of joined a group where we go out on Saturdays and go hiking some of the trails.
Okay.
But I like that you can get just about anywhere in town in 10 minutes.
Have you noticed the traffic has been really crazy lately? I don't know what's going on with our town, but oh my goodness. My dad and I were going into town the other day at like 3:30 in the afternoon, and both lanes of Highway 92 were just packed with. I was like, holy cow, I guess our town is really growing. I guess the secret's getting out.
Yeah, that traffic on 92 is getting a little bit more than I'm used to. So.
I think the community, I think our little secret here, I think it's just getting out. More and more people are moving here, and
I think a lot of when I talk to people that are just moved here, I usually ask why, and a lot of them say, well, I visited my brother, sister, relative here, and I really liked it. So I guess quit visiting your. No, I'm not.
So my last question I wanted to ask you was also based about like in our community and stuff like that. Is trying to remember how I could put this because it's not on my little crib sheet that I have here. So I know that we were talking about how you like to do like a lot of outdoor stuff, and there are a lot of different things for RW, like Red, White, and Blue Team RWB. They have like hikes and stuff like that. So, I know I was going to ask you. I got sidetracked. I'm sorry. Is there any last thing that you wanted to like share with us? Let us know.
I did. Yeah. For back to the taxes. I don't know if anybody knows it, but Arizona this last year, for their taxes, they said that military retirement is no longer taxable.
Really? It's about time.
Yeah. It used to be that if you were a military retiree, then they would take off $3,500 from your gross amount, whatever you made. Well, last year, Arizona legislature passed that now you can deduct the entire amount of your military retirement. So that's a good deal for vets here in state or military retirees here in state. And the other thing is, a lot of veterans get VA benefits that aren't taxable.
Yes.
And so they think, well, all I have is Social Security. I really don't need to file a tax return. If you own a home here in the state, and you don't have any other income besides your Social Security, or the total of the income is less than, say, $1,700 for a single person, or less than $3,500 for a couple, you can actually get a tax credit up to $502 of your real estate taxes returned to you.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that. A lot of veterans, like I said, they say, I don't have to file. Well, if you own a home, it'll probably help you to file. You probably get some money back. So those are the two things I wanted to put out.
Yeah, I know that they also have like the license plate thing for 100% veterans, that they can get their license plates for free, and they also offer some kind of an exemption for property tax, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not sure
but
about that.
I think you have to go to the assessors.
MVD or
assessors. Well, yeah, motor vehicle.
You probably have to get something from the assessor.
Right. But the assessors, well, I'm just having a scatterbrain moment right now. I don't know what happened to me. I apologize. But for the home property tax thing, you have to go to the assessor's office. And for the motor vehicle license, it's MVD for ADOT. Yeah.
And we actually have access. If you we can get on the website and get your information from the assessor's office. If you're coming to us and having the taxes done,
okay,
we can find out what you paid for your property taxes and then put that on the form so you can get the refund.
That's a huge help there too.
You don't have to go there. We can find your address and get it.
Well, Ted, thank you so much for sitting down here and talking with us and letting us know about your service to our country. And thank you on behalf of a grateful nation for your service to our country. And thank you also for the volunteering that you do here at the Warrior Healing Center in helping our veterans out there, and also dependents and everybody in the community. Thank you. That's a great thing. Great service that you guys are doing. Can you hang out for a couple minutes while I read a couple notes here real quick? So some of the upcoming events that we have coming up here at the Warrior Healing Center today. It's Hot Soup Friday, and the Warrior Healing Center is going to be doing this every Friday. And I get a chance to sample some of the soups, and oh my goodness, they are so good. Some of them are donated by the Olive Garden.
Oh, wow.
And
they make
then
soup.
Sometimes Betty's friend makes some soup, and really good. So today's soup is going to be spicy white chicken chili. So please come in and have a bowl of soup, break some bread, have some crackers, have some camaraderie, get out of the cold, although it hasn't been too cold. I don't think it's going to be that cold today, hopefully. So again, that's today, the Hot Soup Friday, and starting at 11 o'clock and going until 1600 or until the soup runs out. Also today, starting at 1500 hours, we're going to have the Gratitude Drum Circle. They'll be out front here at the Warrior Healing Center, and that'll go until 1700. I got a chance to listen to them a couple weeks ago, and the rhythmic pounding on the drums, very soothing. And actually, we got some really talented drummers out there.
Good.
So, also today, and this is something that's very important. Well, everything is very important, to be honest with you. But today, starting at 10:30, and I believe there's two sessions. One starts at 10:30, and the other session starts at 1700 hours. And it's a Veteran Benefits Seminar with VLS. And that's going to be here at the Warrior Healing Center main conference room. They're going to be going over benefits on how to boost your disability rating. They're going to talk about health benefits. Just going to be a whole bunch of really good information that they're going to be putting out in these seminars. So again, that's today. One is at 10:30 and goes to about 12:30, I think. And the other one starts at 1700 hours. Also, coming up on Saturday, starting at 0930 hours, we've got the Warrior Experience. That's going to be happening here at the Warrior Healing Center Recreation Room. And let's see, what else do we got here? On Monday, starting at 17:30, we have the 5 treasures of Qigong that will be here at the Warrior Healing Center. For those of you that belong to Team RWB, there's a bingo night on Monday starting at 1800 hours. Team RWB bingo night is going to be at the VFW. And on Tuesday, January 11th, starting at 0900, going till 1200, and from 13 to 1600, it's going to be Healing with Art, Zenspirations, and Zen Again. That's going to be right here at the Warrior Healing Center main conference room. And then on Wednesday, January 12th, starting at 0830, we're going to have the Velo Vets group ride. That's at Pueblo del Sol Country Club in the parking lot there. And last but not least, on Thursday, January 13th, starting at 1800 hours, going to 1900 hours, we have the Klug Ubuntu Hour. And that Klug is Cochise Linux Users Group. And again, that's Thursday starting at 1800 hours. And that's going to be at Schlotsky's Deli down there next to Taco Bell on Fry Boulevard. So, Ted, thank you, sir, so much for joining us here.
Thanks,
we really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Good morning, Laird. Thanks for joining us right here as we're signing off. Good morning to you. Anyways, thanks, everybody, for joining us. Have a great day, and we'll see you next Friday. Take care now.